Hi, I'm the cinema now. I would like to talk about 2020 Oscar Awards. Every year, I remember for a very long time when it is February, the last Monday, always I get up early in the morning, freshen up, be ready by 5 o'clock to watch Oscar ceremony live. Normally, the Oscar Awards presentation broadcast live on last Sunday of February, which means in India we see it on Monday early morning. So it's a big event for all the film students, film enthusiasts to watch such a magnificent show. This year, even last year, they advanced it a little further. This year they really advanced it to first week of February. On 9th February this year, 2020, the Oscar award ceremony is going to go live, which means 10th February, Monday early morning, we'll be watching it live here in India. Before I talk about this year's Oscar, I would like to talk about little on the Oscar awards itself. Actually, in our country, though it's so popular, but many still are not very clear about how Oscar award is given to various categories. You know how many categories they give Oscar awards every year? Now, in 2020, there are 24 categories, starting from visual effects to animation feature film, foreign language feature film, sound editing, sound design, hairstyle, makeup, short film fiction live, short film animation, docu feature, short docu. From there it go up to the best supporting actor, best supporting actress, cinematography, editing, costume design, best film, the last one. Of course, best director, screenplay. There is an award for screenplay. They give it for adapted screenplay, original screenplay, which means they really thought about the important parts in the process of filmmaking to award in all these categories. Oscar began in 1929. This year we are going to watch 92nd Oscar ceremony, 92 years, 29 was the first. Often it's asked why Indian films are not winning any Oscar. I want my film to win an Oscar. Many naivete young filmmakers sometimes talk about, even many naivete old filmmakers, I want my film to win an Oscar, because they think Oscar is given for any film produced anywhere in the world. No, it's not possible for your film to win an Oscar unless it's an American film produced in America by an American company. Or your film should have ran quite a few weeks in America. For example, this year's Oscar, the South Korean film called Parasite, which technically qualified to compete only in the best foreign language film. But it is also in the best director category, also in the best film category. I'm a bit surprised because that film was such a huge success commercially. It ran in so many theaters in America, so they put it in like an American film, though it's an out and out South Korean film speaking Korean language. So in that sense, Indian film, if at all it can win an Oscar, it can win only in one category, that is best foreign language film. But often I see in the newspapers, especially in Tamil vernacular dailies, hey, this actor's film goes to Oscar, that film goes to Oscar. No, they were not even selected for the nomination. In the best foreign language section, every country can send a film to. You know one thing, though Oscar began at 1929, best foreign language film section started only in 1956. Till then, there was no such section. It meant only for American films. Of course, Indians can win an Oscar. Indian subjects can win an Oscar. That's how A. Rahman won 2 Oscars. because he worked in an American film, Slumdog Millionaire. Rasul Pukuti won an Oscar, whereas in best foreign language films, so far we send one film every year, but in the last so many years, close to 60 years, only 3 films qualified for nomination itself. One film was, latest film was Lagan by Ashutosh Gaurikar. It was nominated. That itself is a big honor. Before that, Salam Bombay by Meera Nair. Before that, Mehboob Khan's Mother India. Only these 3 films is selected for nomination, but they never won any award. But of course, there are some Indians won an award like A.R. Rahman and Rasul Pukuti before. Banu Ataya won an Oscar because she worked in Gandhi as a costume designer. It was again an American, UK and Indian co-production. So that cannot be really considered an Indian or Indian film winning an award. The only Indian who won an Oscar, I must say, is Satyajit Roy for his lifetime achievement. It was honoring him for his great contribution to the art of cinema. It's called Oscar, but originally the name is Academy Award. It's given by Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Very interesting. The term sciences is part of the organization. It's called AMPAS. That's what that organization gives us. So it's all over the world, technically known as Academy Award. How come the term Oscar came? I do not know. But there are many stories available how the name Oscar came. One of the story is, in the early years of Oscar, I'm talking about very early in the 30s, one woman who was working in the academy saw the statue of Oscar and said, "Hey, this looks like my uncle Oscar." Since then, the academy people started calling it Oscar. Today, almost Oscar became a synonym for this Academy Award. Okay, that's an interesting story that gives awards to the best interesting stories. Okay, now there are other interesting, who gives this? Who select these films for these awards? These awards, the films for these awards selected by the AMPAS, the Academy members. There are, I think today, more than 6,500 members in the Academy. Whereas tens of thousands of people work in the Hollywood, but there are only 6,500 plus members of that in the Academy. Not that anyone can become the member of the Academy. The Academy has to invite you to become a member. Otherwise, you cannot become a member. The payment for the membership is very, very nominal, small amount, but they have to invite you. Very recently, the one Indian who has been invited to become a member of Academy is our cameraman, Santosh Shivan. Of course, it's very unfortunate he's been spending his talent on films like Vijay's film and Rajinikanth film, but still is a very good technician. He also made very fine films, directed short himself, shot those films. And these members under various category, by a very complex process of voting, they select a film. Especially the foreign language films, they cannot select it on their own. Most of the time they watch it before on theatre, DVDs. The foreign language films, the Academy members should go to a theatre when they screen it by the Academy for the award selection. Everyone's name is registered. Only those registered can vote later. That's how the foreign language. It's a very complex process. In all categories, only 5 films are nominated till 2005. From 2005 onwards, for the best film, because there are too many films, they want to give the best film, so they increased it to 10. Now it's been reduced to 9, maybe, to make it an odd number. Now for the last few years, the only category, the 9 nominations are there, the best film. In all other categories, on only 5 films. And many interesting anecdotes about this Oscar. And in the very beginning, very first Oscar, names of the winning films were announced early. Then they found the award ceremony was so boring. because they know which is a film that's going to win an award. All boring speechification. Next year they gave the name of the winners only on the award day, the afternoon. Even then, one newspaper published it in their evening edition. Again they decided. Since then they've decided to keep it as a total secret. It should be revealed only at the time of announcing the award. That now followed by all kinds of festival award ceremonies today, from small, middle level, in every region, in every country. But that started by Academy Awards presentation. And have you ever seen that when the Academy Award is given, because it's a secret, when they receive the statue, there is another rule. When the statue is a bronze coated with a gold, maybe the cost of the statue technically may not be too much when you give it material value. But you have to sign a contract with Academy. You cannot sell this. Recently they made the contract. You cannot sell this award to anyone. If at all you want to sell this, you can sell it only to a Academy back, that too for $1. So it's, there is so much. It's a more of the honor that as the statue carries. Before this contract was made, quite a few Oscar statues were sold for millions of dollars. Now nobody can sell it. Like that, the Oscar is full of stories, very interesting stories. Let's come to this year's Oscar, which you are going to watch live on the 10th February morning, early morning. For me, I always personally interested in 4 or 5 categories: best film, best director, best screenplay, both original, adapted, and especially I'm always interested in best foreign language. This year, best foreign language film. The Parasite is there. Many think Parasite should win and think. There is also another very interesting film called Honeyland from North Macedonia. North Macedonia is a country that started sending films in the very recent past. The Honeyland is a film. It's also very strangely this year that Honeyland film is also in another category, the best documentary feature length. Very strange, because in North Macedonia that film was released as a feature film, so they could send it as well as in the documentary. It's a kind of a docudrama. I happened to see the film. It's a very interesting film, partly staged. Very North Macedonia, where they speak Turkish. That's another film, I know, which in my opinion, personally, the best foreign language film should go to Pedro Almodovar's film called Pain and Glory. By all means, I hope, but it may not get it. The film Parasite may get it, because it's won already all the major awards. And the best director, Tarantino is there, who's too popular. I don't think Tarantino. For me, there are 2 real contenders. One is Martin Scorsese for his Irishman. Powerful film. Irishman, if you have not seen it, see it. It's there in Netflix. What a film it is. It's almost a Godfather repeated today in a different format. It's that kind of a story. It's based on a novel again, and the finesse, the filmmaking is astonishing. Scorsese at his peak in 2000, for me, is the best. Or Sam Mendes for 1917, between these 2. Even Parasite director is, I hope he doesn't get it for that. If at all he gets, he should get only for this. His film is also in the best film category. In the best film category, I do not know. Again, there is Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is there, Pain and Glory is there, and Parasite is there, and Sam Mendes 1917 is there. Marriage Story is another very interesting film for me personally. It's about a typical American marriage, how it becomes dysfunctional. Of course, all marriage stories comes from one film in anywhere when you produce it, from Bergman's Scenes from a Marriage. That film reminded me many scenes of Bergman's Scenes from a Marriage, but still it's a very interesting film to watch because of the great performance by Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, very beautifully scripted, very well executed. Film students have to learn a lot. The mise en scene, the way they staged very interesting scenes in front of camera is amazing. For a filmmaker, it's mesmerizing, I would say. Of course, Irishman, very much, very important. Of course, Joker is another film which is very, very, very popular. I personally will not be happy if it wins an any award. It's all my personal opinion. Oscar ceremony, 10th February, Monday, early morning, 5:30 a.m. The live broadcast starts. Those who want to watch it live, please note this date.